anime has a reputation for testing your gut and emotions to the breaking point. Whether it's a scene that is horrendously disgusting or simply heartbreaking, fans have seen it all at this point. Even in children's anime and shoujo, there are moments that are surprisingly violent, morbid, or just straight-up scarring. There are iconic anime series that depict the freakiest scenes in anime history that have scarred us for life. However, this list focuses on the 10 freakiest scenes that audiences have found to be the most unforgettable. From the more emotionally disturbing scenes to the straight-up graphic ones, you are sure to find yourself nodding and wincing as you remember these moments that will freak you out. Feel free to comment on your thoughts at the end of this video, and don't forget to give it a like and smash the subscribe button to motivate us to create more anime content. Number 10. The Ohara Incident. Anime fans often label One Piece as a lighthearted, adventurous anime. And while that is often true, the series also contains a variety of moments that are objectively heartbreaking. However, in episode 278, entitled Say You Want to Live, We Are Friends, the world government's greatest atrocity happened. One event that exemplifies this trend occurs during Nico Robin's backstory, and it is arguably one of the darkest moments in the history of the world government. The island of Ohara was once home to the Grand Line's greatest historians. However, after they discovered evidence of the events that transpired during the Void Century, they were deemed a threat by the world government. Following the initiation of a buster call, Ohara is completely destroyed, resulting in the death of all but one of its civilians, Nico Robin. Luckily, Robin's time with the Straw Hat Pirates helped her move past these painful memories. Nonetheless, the Ohara Incident will always be one of the most horrendous atrocities that the world government has ever committed. Number 9. Tanjiro Kamado returns home and finds his family. Demon Slayer follows Tanjiro Kamado as he attempts to undo the transformation that turned his sister, Nezuko, into a demon. However, in episode 1, entitled Cruelty, of this widely known anime, before this long journey happens, he must first endure one of the most traumatic moments in shonen history that freaks out many viewers from all around the world. After returning from a trip to a nearby village, Tanjiro discovers that his entire family has been slaughtered, presumably by a demon. Tanjiro's father, Tanjiro, passes away before the events of Demon Slayer. Nonetheless, the series' protagonist still loses multiple siblings and his mother at the hands of whatever entity assaulted the Kamado home while he was gone. This brutal scene sets the tone for the entire series, and even during the events of the Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train, it factors into Tanjiro's battle against Muzan Kibutsuji and his subordinates. Before we proceed to number 8, have you ever wondered what will happen if Nezuko becomes the strongest Demon Slayer instead of Tanjiro? Well, if you do, you can check out this video we made dedicated to answering your greatest what if. Number 8. Nanaba calls out to her family as she is eaten by titans. We know that Attack on Titan is known as one of the most brutal anime in the history of the shonen genre. In episode 29, entitled Soldier, of this mainstream anime, the death of Nanaba happened, and it is ready to stay rent-free in the home of your memory. Throughout its 4 seasons, it has successfully lived up to its reputation by satisfying fans' expectations. While many of the series' heartbreaking scenes are somewhat predictable, one brief scene that happens early in the 2nd season of the show surprises viewers the most. As the Beast Titan's presence becomes a bigger and bigger problem, several members of the 104th Training Corps find themselves holed up in an isolated tower with hordes of Titans outside. When an ally named Nanaba attempts to assist Attack on Titan's protagonists, she runs out of gas and finds herself suspended in reach of the Titans. As they devour her, she curiously starts begging her father to stop hurting her, creating arguably the most uncomfortably surreal moments in the entire series. At number 7. The Elven race is annihilated during a fateful wedding ceremony. Many years before the events of Black Clover's narrative, humanity shared its territory with a fairly large population of elves. In episode 115, entitled Mastermind, of this anime, we can see the elf tribe celebrating Licht and Titia's marriage moments before being massacred. During the reign of the first Wizard King, these elves were slaughtered in a one-sided massacre that almost completely wiped out their population. In the middle of the wedding between the first Wizard King's sister, Titia, and the leader of the elves, Licht, a trap is initiated that causes light magic to rain down upon the unsuspecting elves. The attack leaves virtually no survivors, and to make matters worse, it catalyzes Licht's transformation into a massive demon, which forces his closest friend, the Wizard King, to strike him down. Number 6. Killua rips out Jonas, the dissector's heart. We are all well aware of the Hunter x Hunter's cute, aesthetic, and youthful protagonists. In episode 11, entitled Trouble X with the X Gamble of the widely known anime, Killua executed one of the freakiest anime scenes in history. Apparently, this anime regularly demonstrates itself to be one of the most brutal shonen anime of the 2000s. While there are plenty of dark scenes in the show to point to, none are more shocking than Killua's slaughter of Jonas the Dissector during the third phase of the Hunter exam. Prior to this scene, Killua's sinister past is mostly a mystery. However, after literally ripping out Jonas's heart, it's clear that the boy is no normal 11-year-old. Thankfully, Killua displays these bloodthirsty tendencies far less often as the series continues, thanks to the influence of Hunter x Hunter's kind-hearted main character, Gon Freaks. Number 5. The death of Rin leads Obito to go on a rampage. Each of Naruto's characters has unique personalities, backstories, and birthdays, rendering them believable and endearing individuals. In episode 345, entitled I'm in Hell of this anime, fans freak out at the specific scene where Obito's ruthless behavior is shown. The life of a shinobi is inherently dangerous, so for many of the characters seen in Naruto Shippuden, their backstories are full of loss and grief. That said, even by these standards, Obito Uchiha experiences an especially difficult upbringing. He had lost one of his Sharingan and been separated from his closest friend, Kakashi, and the object of his affection, Rin. After being nursed back to health by Madara Uchiha, following the loss of his left eye, Obito learns that his former teammates are still alive. They are under attack from a host of shinobi from the Hidden Mist Village. Upon his arrival, Obito sees that Rin has already perished, prompting him to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. Then, he decimates the Hidden Mist Ninja in what is probably the most brutal rampage in the entire Naruto franchise. Number 4. The abduction of the orphan girls. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Child trafficking is one of the most sensitive topics in today's world, and it's fearlessly demonstrated in this anime. In episode 6, entitled Residence of Girls, this anime became a freaking show with all the grape, ass, trafficking, and slavery demonstrated. It's a bit of an understatement to call this a deeply uncomfortable episode. It's to the point that even if you watch this series again sometime down the road, you'll almost certainly skip over this one. That said, this is not a bad episode in any objective sense. Rather, it does a great job at what it's trying to do, like making you disgusted and horrified at Maha's treatment in this fantasy world. From there, we see the growing horror of her new life as she and the other girls make the dresses that they will be forced to wear when they are eventually rented out as working girls. Slowly but surely, they launch desperate attempts to escape their inescapable situation one way or another. One becomes an emotionless doll. Another takes a sickle to her face, hoping no man will want a disfigured woman. Maha, as the youngest, is forced to watch in growing dread as her time grows ever closer. She's considering the sickle escape herself when Lu shows up to save her. And here's where it gets even more messed up. From Maha's point of view, Lug is her knight in shining armor. But we know Luke and his true motives, thanks to his past with Tart. In the most general sense, Lug is a little different from the men who buy these underage girls each night. He isn't saving Maha simply out of the goodness of his heart. While it may not be for the obvious, Lug is still purchasing her for her body. Namely, her innate ability to use mana. 3. Emma discovers the true purpose of her orphanage. The Promised Neverland begins on a wholesome note, but within the span of a single episode, the lives of its main characters are flipped upside down. In episode 1, 12-1045, Emma finds the deceased Connie, which is one of the freakiest scenes in anime history, for the dead eyes of Connie will hunt you down till eternity. Emma, a gifted child living in an orphanage with numerous other children, believes that she and her friends are simply being kept until they're adopted. However, she made a grisly discovery during the series' first episode. Emma realizes that the most recently adopted child from her orphanage, Connie, forgot his beloved stuffed animal. That said, she chases after her to return the item. Unfortunately, when she reaches the gate separating the orphanage from the rest of the world, she finds Connie's deceased corpse with several demonic-looking creatures. This scene freaks her out, and so are the viewers. Given the youth of its protagonist, this scene from this anime is especially hard to watch. Number 2. Toji Zenin defeats Satoru Gojo and kills the Star Plasma Vessel. Over the past few years, the Dark Trio has significantly changed the anime landscape, and as the most popular member of the group, Jujutsu Kaisen is arguably the most influential title to emerge from the shonen genre in recent memory. Its mature themes and violent action scenes make for a variety of brutal moments. In episode 27, entitled Hidden Inventory, this anime will freak you out as the most powerful protagonist of the show will be defeated by his enemy. Anime fans all around the world were left dumbfounded when Toji Zenin's assault on Satoru Gojo, Suguru Geto, and Riko Amanai. Gojo and Geto are tasked with guarding Riko from various assailants, and after they successfully return to Tokyo Jujutsu High, it seems as though they've accomplished their mission. However, as soon as they drop their guard, Toji Zenin strikes, savagely attacking Gojo with a blade and shooting Riko squarely in the temple. Although Gojo rises from the brink of death and avenges Riko by killing her attacker, it does little to change the effect of Toji's ruthless assault. Finally, number 1, the Monster Bunnies. Blood Sea is no stranger to violence because it follows the life of a monster slayer as she kills creatures left and right. In episode 12, entitled If Remembering Me, the most violent scene in the entire anime history, you will simply freak out at the scene in which a pack of vicious bunny creatures eat a town of people. The scene where the captured humans were put in a sack-like structure and were crushed by the bunny meat-crushing hand will not leave your memory till your last breath. Some bunnies even store the rest in their bodies, making viewers sick to their stomachs. The graphic nature of the scene was probably the most terrifying and scarring of the entire show. There are a lot of horrifying anime scenes out there, but this one is particularly memorable. Thus, it deserves to be on top of this top 10 freakiest scenes in anime history. Thanks for supporting, and please, like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time in another video.